TC Spiritual Shepherd. Welcome back to the Spiritual Shepherd YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about fear, failure, fear of failure. Almost failed at that right there. Can't even do an intro. Just kidding. But ultimately, y'all, listen up. You can fail your way to success. This is my motto. Fail your way to success. Fail your way to success. Fail your way to success. There was actually a quote that I used to listen to. I believe it's Seneca, a philosopher, and he said, fail early, so then you ultimately have like been there, done that, but fail early. And the reason why you should fail early is because then you know what failure is, and then you know not to do that, and you'll be better in the latter half of your life. And not only that, you have the health to mess up. You have the health, and even like the youth. That's really what the youth to mess up. You have the youth to change your ways, all this type of stuff. Okay. And same with like Jordan Peterson, you know, like the only way that you can learn how to or the only way that you can truly be good, the only way that you can be truly authentic is to know how to be bad, and then choose not to be bad, and then choose goodness instead of choosing badness ultimately. And so that's what he means. And then he even says, like, be a monster in goodness. Like, be a beast in goodness. That's really what it is. Okay, that's really the mentality. Okay, so this is like about fear and failure. Just like Master Yoda says, failure is one of the greatest teachers. Fail your way to success. Fail your way to success. Because the whole thing is like, if you fail, then you know what not to do. Okay, you know what not to do. Remember, there's you didn't fail 10,000 times. You actually learned 10,000 ways how not to make a light bulb. Okay. All right. Now, there's so many different things that go along with this type of stuff. Here's the big thing: is like, you know, that one goody person. Okay, and I'm not coming at anybody. Okay, I admire people for, you know, how strong they are and how extreme they are. Okay, I'm a very extreme person as well. So, let's talk about it. People who are goody, a lot of them are afraid to sin. They're afraid to fail. They're afraid to sin. Why? Because they are afraid that if they fail, or if they mess up, or if they sin, then they're going to be punished, and they're going to be hated. They're going to be outcast, and they're going to be despised. I truly believe that it's actually normal. I truly believe it's actually normal to fail and normal to sin. What do I mean? I'm going to keep going, guys. I'm going to keep going. I think that God is okay with you sinning once. I just don't think he's okay with you making the same sin twice. Because the first sin could potentially be unconscious, where you don't know. But it's when you know and then still choose to do it that it becomes a mistake. That becomes it says you can mess up once, or you can make a mistake once, but then after the second time, it's a choice, and the choice is conscious. So that is a big cultivation. You must understand this. You must be able to understand and comprehend this, that if you are truly moving forward in your life, do not be afraid to fail. Do not be afraid to mess up once. Okay, so and here's the thing: even if it is 10 times, if it takes 10 times, but you learn it quicker. What do I mean? I mean, like, I've messed up multiple times in my life. I've messed up. I chose to mess up for 5 years straight, like from like 18 to 23, 18 to 24, somewhere in there. Like, I chose to be more outlandish and crazy and difficult for my family, and all this different type of stuff. I chose to drink. I chose to do drugs. I chose to do all these different types of things. I chose to be promiscuous. I chose to, you know, hang around in extreme party situations and, you know, go out every night and all this type of stuff, and smoke cigarettes and vape and all this type of stuff, and not moderately. And I chose to do this because I knew, with that same mindset, that, you know, if I do this for a few years, I'll be there and been there, done that, and then I'll return home. And it is very, very similar to like the prodigal son. But the whole thing is like, that being, now, guess what? They will never, then they'll go extreme. So like from 23 to the rest of their life, they won't drink, they won't do drugs, they won't do any of this stuff. And I know that there are some people who will never do any of that stuff, which is more power to you. I think that's awesome. Okay. But to the people like fail your way to success, and then you know why not to do things. See, now I know why not to do things. Like a lot of the things is like I would fail my way to success. Like I would fail my way to business success, which now I'm successful in my business. Like I'm officially successful in my business. I am super, super proud of myself. I am super proud of myself. And it's because I chose to just keep going, keep going. There's speed bumps. Oh, speed bump. This sucks. This thing sucks. But like I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm not blaming anyone for my failures. And I'm not blaming any of my old friends, any of my old exes, any of my old family members. I'm not blaming anybody. Okay? It's my fault. And the whole thing is like, but it's also my fault when I succeed. It's also my fault when I win. It's also my fault when I take responsibility for winning. I take responsibility for that too. And so that is the big aspect, is like, are you afraid to mess up because you think that you're going to be punished, so then you don't try to mess up? But then that also leads you to not succeeding quicker than most people because you're so afraid. Because you are afraid. Say, here's a big thing, is if you choose not to be afraid to mess up, then you mess up on purpose because you weren't afraid to mess up. Then you know what not to do because you messed up. You're like, well, I don't have to do these 15 things because I know that these things mess me up. But now there's only like 2 more things to do. So if I do these 2 things, I am closer to success. And then I can just channel focus into those 2 things. That's the type of mindset is like you can really start to channel into those 2 things, multiple things. And now there's only like a few avenues. So like for me, it's about 4 avenues that I take daily, and 4 avenues for the rest of my life. Literally 4 avenues for the rest of my life. And I'm just going to keep doubling up, keep expanding that. And it's like Kobe Bryant was just talking about this. Like, he's like, once you have a focus, once you know what you're doing, it's easier because everything is about that one thing. So like if you open a book and you read, it's still about that one thing. If you open a quote, if you are working in a completely different career choice, somehow it's still leading to that one focus because your whole life is based on that one focus. It's based on that one thing. Okay? That one thing, that one focus. And for me, it's like the four pillars or the 4 things is that like one global focus. And that leads me to more success because I know that like, well, this is leading me here. This is leading me here. This is leading me here. Okay. A multitude of things. And it keeps leading back to just a few basic foundation or groundational things. And I think like a lot of stuff in my head is like, like I almost put like negative voices sometimes. Like I feel like it's someone else like saying it, or like I always imagine like someone else like gossiping or talking shit on me. Like, he ain't gonna amount to shit. He ain't gonna be shit. Like he was never shit. And like, his belief systems are fucked up. And, matter of fact, he's a fuck up and all these like I have like some stuff like that. But I also have just as negative as that could be, I have a very positive thing. Like it doesn't matter what anybody says about me, that I could be the greatest version of me. Like nobody else who would ever be me could be better than who I am, and not in an ego way. It's like in a non-egotistical way. It's like in a like I've eradicated my like it's a different level. It's a different high vibrational level. And I think that some people mistake it as ego. So I really want you to hear that. And a big thing is like that is one of the biggest things that I've heard is like, you have an ego, you're arrogant, you're so into yourself, you're so conceited and all this type of stuff. And I think that it's just like I found the way to do it, and a lot of confidence and like knowingness and wisdom can very much come off as conceited when you don't know what you're doing or don't know how to do it, or maybe don't have the confidence to do it the way that I'm. So that's really it. Stay tuned for part 5. Peace, much love.